All right. Welcome to the Next Man Up training. This is a moment where we look at one of the hardest things that we have to do as leaders. Who is going to be our next leader? It's hard to find them. It's hard to develop a new leader. It's even harder to develop a younger leader. So, captains, advisors, volunteers, youth pastors, partners with FCA, this video is for you, and we're expecting you to walk alongside the kids. I'm going to teach you everything I've learned over the last 27 years on developing next leaders in 10 minutes. So hold on for the ride. This is a short presentation. Let's look at the secret that Jesus left us. There's no easy way to do this, but he left us a path of how he made fishermen into world changers. And that's what we need in Hawaii and across our nation. So let's take a look as God's raising up this generation. This is how he developed a generation. It was a simple 4-step process he invited the fishermen on. Step 1, come and see. He invited the guys and he modeled for them ministry. He said, get out of the boat. I will teach you to be fishers of men very clearly. And then he invited them to start helping in the ministry. In step 2, they started to assist and walk alongside him. They got to do the baptizing. This is where they fed the 5,000. They're like, we can't do it. We don't have enough money. And they notice that God shows up and they become more and more confident in him. Their character is shaped. Step 3, he says, I am sending you out like sheep among wolves, 2 by 2 to 12 different cities. And he does it again for the 72. And then finally, he says, guys, it's time for me to go. I am launching you to go to Judea, Samaria, the ends of the earth. That's step 4. So I want you to check out, this is a common way that we look at it. Think about yourself. How did you learn to ride a bike? Well, first you got to see someone riding a bike and you want to do it and they model for you. And then step 2, you start getting a chance to have someone assist you and help you. You get the right equipment and you start going for it, but you also fall as a youngster fell here. And these are the moments where you need a lot of coaching. Someone was first telling you how to ride a bike, then you need coaching. But then you start to step 3, get good at it, and you're up and you're finding confidence in it, and someone walks alongside you but watches instead. And then 4, you are out playing in the neighborhood and free. You have your freedom. So where do we start inside of this for our huddles? I want you to think about your huddle. There are leadership roles, but most importantly, it's about people, not roles or positions. Who are the people? Where you start is called, I want to call this people of peace. The most important person you are looking for is someone who has been coming to the huddle, going to church, and living a life for Jesus. These are the right people, and it's individual. So who has been saying yes to you? Who do you enjoy being around? What does your huddle need? Or is more important about who is that person? And that will make us diverse as each of us developing the people that God is bringing to us. And I would really like you adults to be thinking about your role. You won't be here forever. Who else can you bring from church? Who else can you bring as another teacher in the faculty room? Who is interested in what God is doing in the students? Bring them. And to remind you, we have 5 roles. This is how every huddle goes. So we broke the roles up into it. You have the welcome, the warm up, the workout, and the wrap up, and this role of communications. We actually are really weak at this role of communications, but I want to share with you, if you don't have 5 leaders on your team, maybe you have 3 sophomores, and you're like, Daniel, should I do Next Man Up? Yes, you should get all 5 of these roles filled with 1 or 2 leaders. So between 10 and 2 leaders is the goal, but objective for you is to have over 5 leaders across the 5 positions. And we need to fill this communications role because this is exposing what God's doing. It's stoking the fire of more students around Hawaii, and it is testifying and glorifying the Lord past just your school. We need to get the word out, and we will help you. We have a new communications director in Corinne Nicewinder, and she's really good, and she's running our FCA Hawaii. If you haven't watched or followed us on FCA Hawaii, go check it out. You'll see the recent testimonies. Here's the timeline of how this play is going to work. Right now, we are here in February. You can see the bottom left. We want to choose our next men up and model for them. Just invite them to a leadership team. You want someone to look at them and say, I believe in you. Then in March, we'll let them start assisting. I'm hosting right here at the farm a leadership weekend with Youth for Christ and Child Evangelism Fellowship on April 4th through 6th. We will focus on the heart of a leader, and we'll do our 3-hour training experience and modeling huddles that all get a chance to practice for each other. It'll be an incredible time. We have room for 95 people. We want to fill that with the students. We want you to come, youth pastor, advisor. We want you to be here to come and see and experience. If you need to get better at a huddle, plan on that weekend. Then in April, we let them lead. It's kind of nice that they come to the training. They're more dialed in and take some responsibility. In May, you have your new leaders lead the last huddle, and they lay on the seniors, and you have one of the seniors share the last message as they go out. And then in July, you just have fun with the leaders. Plan something at the end of the school year for July. And then in August, we start the fall planning and restart. And now you don't have to scramble for leaders. You already have them practiced and trained. So let's break it down. In modeling for us, we want to bring them along. We want our students to share why you lead and show them the leader meeting and the prep work. This is the most important time to say, I believe in you. The main principle here is don't tell me, show me. So we want to stop and invite these guys, say why we believe in them, share a little bit of why we are doing what we're doing. This is for the students. So can you teach the students to model and do that right now, this February, this month? It's time to do it. You can show them this video, but this is the moment where we believe in someone and call them up and say, I think you have what it takes to be a leader here next year. I'd like to have you alongside. Step 2, assist. How do we help them be a part of it? So can we give them a piece of things to lead? And this is where you're actually going to coach them. So here's how we do our welcome. This is how we give high fives. This is why we give high fives. This is how we give pizza. No, we'll make the line this way. And you give some adjustments and direction, and you begin to coach them. And we're encouraging them through. They're going to make mistakes. Think of the 12 feeding the 5,000 and how freaked out they were. So feedback and clarity are good. This is where you do a lot of your training. Then step 3, we watch. We let them do it, and we watch. And this is where they actually can mess up. There's not much they can do that you can't fix in a couple of minutes, I'm sure. But you have to risk that Holy Spirit's going to work in them the same way he's working in you. So we shift from telling them as a coach to now asking them questions. And we're trying to search for the way God's gifting them. Because right now we're looking in this section, how do we give them a role? What role do we give them next year? So you want to stay close. You don't want to just launch them and leave them. You want to stay close, and you want to share you believe in them. And they're going to start growing in confidence. This is a super exciting stage. And then finally, launch. Let them run the last huddle, pray for them and release them, honor them in front of everyone. Let the seniors honor the youngsters honor the seniors. It'll be an incredible last huddle. We'll help you put that together if you want to see kind of an agenda, but trust that Holy Spirit is going to work in them the same way he's working in you. So this isn't clear enough. I decided we need a worksheet. So here's a worksheet I'll attach as a PDF for you to be able to use. It gives the fill in the blanks so you can walk them through. So model is going to be in February. Step 2, assist is going to be in March. 3, watch is where they're leading, and you'll be doing that in April, and then in launch in May. So breaking it down here, so they can fill in their people of peace. What do they notice that makes them a good fit? They get to actually prepare what they want to say to these 3 people. It could be 1 or 2 or 3, and then share why you lead. So you go through and fill out these examples. When it gets to the assist section, what can you let them lead? When you give them something, what will you say to them when they are scared? I love that question because it is going to be a challenge. And how are you going to encourage them when they don't feel like they can do it? Reminding them that God's going to work through them. When it gets into step 3, the watch, what will you give them that carries weight, that's heavy, you can delegate? And then finally, as you send them off, how can you affirm them? This will just allow you to work through each of the students. So I want you to give every student one of these, and that is going to really set them up. So this is the whole plan. It's very simple. It will be hard. Ultimately, we are developing the next man up. God has a plan for this generation. This is a moment. This is a moment where you get to be a part of joining God in changing all of Hawaii and the Pacific. God bless you. Thanks for joining us.